Hey, Kiera, thanks for joining me today. I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, wow, it's my pleasure. How are you?
Hey, good. Thanks for asking. Very relaxed after my morning of classes not involving magic ears today.
Yeah, I was working all night, so.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Chinese New Year. They do have classes I did that like my first summer, and the split sleep, like I would do part of the night and sleep a few hours and do the morning, just like, and it killed me.
I'm definitely going to sleep after.
Yeah. But hey, you have the opportunity to make the money, so that's good. All right, so a little backstory on Kiera, for those of you that don't know her. She kind of was like the instant face of Magic Ears for a little while, because she was the first person hired through this fast track system, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the first. I think there was one person before me, but they focused on me for some reason. So there's that.
Okay. And so they just right away, somebody contacted you to make a video. You've made one or two videos, like they're on the Magic Ears YouTube page. You can find her pretty face on there. And so they were all about just getting you out there, like just to tell everybody how amazing the fast track system was and stuff.
So they also realized how good I was at talking. So I was definitely someone they came to when they asked, can you talk awesome stuff about us?
Okay, and you did it. All right, so I have a few questions for you, and then we'll get into like what actually happened to you, because I think people really want to know that. And maybe there's a lot of people that don't know, because there's been a lot of questions like, where'd Kiera go? All of a sudden she's not on the Facebook page and stuff. She just disappeared. So we can let them know what happened. So my first question is, why did you initially decide to apply to Magic Ears?
Initially, I worked for VIP Kid, working currently. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I don't know how it got on my feed, but there was just an ad for Magic Ears, and I saw, the smiles and the happy, upbeat, and I was like, that's awesome. And I wanted to give that a try. So
like it just seems so welcoming and like a real family atmosphere type thing. That got me too. Okay, and how long did you actually work at Magic Ears for?
Maybe 2.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, but you were smarter than me. You caught on much quicker. Did you find the reason that you initially applied to be true or false?
In the beginning, it was definitely true. Everyone was very upbeat. Everyone was very welcoming. The staff was, very supportive. There was an actual scenario where my son was in the hospital. He ended up going to the ER, and they were very, very understanding. And that's the kind of thing I looked for when I first applied. And towards the end, it was more their way or the highway kind of thing. And I mean, that's the case with any job, but it was like extreme with Magic Ears at the end. So yes and no.
Okay, good. In your opinion, how was the communication at Magic Ears?
Again, I'll say both ends of it. In the beginning, if I needed anything at all, like the literal beginning, like the first week or so, they would respond to me within the hour. And then after that, it kind of slowed down, where they were more like, figure it out yourself. And if something's really, really urgent, we'll respond eventually, kind of thing. And at the end, I only had one person respond to me, and it took like 2 days for them to respond. And then it was like 2 sentences. And then maybe, in a few days, I'll get another response kind of thing. So good, like I said in the beginning, and bad. So just depends on where you are on their spectrum.
Elaborate on that, because that's one of my questions, and you're about to answer it without me even asking.
Okay, so there will be a question asking what happened to me, so I won't go into that yet. But I was having an issue, which is why I stopped working. but how to, okay, I would message them and would get no response. And I would message someone else who was a trainer. They were a trainer. And they messaged them and got an immediate response. So I knew they were there. And they just decided not to respond to me. So, and I knew they responded because she took a screenshot and sent it to me. Like, this is what they said. And I'm like, well, that's funny. So if you're someone they're really, really, you know, they're happy with, if they're happy with you, they will do 100% to keep you and to make you happy and all that. And if they're not happy with you, good luck.
Which is really funny because I have interviewed 3 people before you. All of us have similar situations, and we were all once the favorites and then turned into not the favorites, and we all got ghosted.
Yeah.
So this is a common thing at Magic Ears. As long as you're on their good side, you're good. You know, life is great. They will hook you up with, you know, secondary, whatever. Yeah. And then you get on their bad side and watch out.
Yeah. Just, you know, don't.
Yeah, just don't. Or avoid them altogether. But that's, you know, your choice. I'm not trying to encourage people to not try it. I want people to like figure things out for themselves. But I also just really want to get information out there to let people see that there are red flags. Because right now I think everything is so hidden. There's nothing negative to be found at all.
I think that's what contributed a lot to me actually applying is there's nothing bad at all.
And now why do you think that is?
They have super censorship. I don't even say that. Censorship. There we go.
They watch everything, don't they?
Yeah.
Everything. Even not on their sites. You can be on a completely unrelated site and it like pops up someone from Magic Ears. Like I have seen them on other pages, completely unrelated.
If you know Glassdoor, you can go on Glassdoor and they have a 4.5 rating or something along those lines. And I am almost 95% positive half of those ratings are, you know, actual teachers, and the other half of the good ones, I should say, are actual teachers, and then the other half are people that actually work for Magic Ears and that are just like, okay, we got 3 bad reviews, go put 4 good ones. And I mean, that is
they a while back before you started, they were sending us all messages. We go put a good review on Glass. I mean, they were sending us or Skyping us like, do this. So, okay, sure, no problem. You know, and we do it. That's why. It had to be forced. It wasn't like, all right. Let's see. In your opinion, did you find the Beijing staff to be professional?
You're gonna get tired of me saying good and bad.
No, this is exactly the purpose of these interviews. So
like I said, when they liked me, and I got immediate responses. And when they didn't like me, they didn't like me, and I could not get a single response. Towards the end, I will actually say they were very, very impolite. There was I guess you'll get the story eventually, but just vaguely, they told me to say something that wasn't true because it would have allowed me to have my classes back. Okay, they took my classes away. They told me to say something that wasn't true, and then they would give me my classes back, and I never got my classes back. So on top of lying, just blatant lying, they then didn't respond to me after I made that comment and enough people had read it. So if I had taken that back, well, then who was lying? And as a new teacher, 2.5 months, who are they going to believe? The people that pay them, or just this teacher who doesn't even have classes anymore? She could just be angry, so
just for a peace of mind, all of us teachers, senior teachers, magic masters, and everyone in high up positions, we all know that you wouldn't be the one lying, because the thing is everyone at Magic Ears, like you said, knows that they need to stay on the good side in order to progress in the company. So it's not that they don't have anything negative to say. It's that they're scared to say anything because they can't. So you may not get any responses if you were to post on the Facebook group because people are scared to, but they would believe you.
Yeah.
So, because everyone has stories.
And then they would have deleted it. So it wouldn't have
or they would just not even approve it in the first place. Because
there has been cases of that.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's see what's next. Would you in good conscience recommend Magic Years to another ESL teacher at this point?
It depends on their personality, honestly. I would love to say that I 100% would not recommend them, but I mean, it works for some people, obviously. If you're able to put your tail between your legs and just do what they tell you, and if they say you can't have the classes that you were supposed to teach and you have another job somewhere else to make that income, it's all for you. I mean, more power to you. I would not. Me personally, I would not work there if I had known the truth.
Yeah. And it took me way longer to figure out the truth, because I'm on my third contract would be coming up in April. So I've signed a second contract. I've had my classes are all closed. They don't know it yet. I haven't sent in my resignation. Like I said, we're doing these videos, but they're not going to be posted till after the 10th. But as soon as I get my paycheck, they'll get my resignation letter. But I have held 3 secondary positions there. I've been very successful in the company until now. And so for me, it's like, I can see the fit. Like if someone, for example, had a chronic health condition or something, the cancellation policy is amazing. And then I think I said this on one of the other interviews, but I have a friend, actually the lady who referred me, she has taught over 2,000 classes, or 1,000. She's taught a lot of classes at Magic Years, and she never says anything. She's not very visible on Facebook, and she really just teaches. She has no desire for secondary positions. She's still a junior teacher, and she doesn't care. So if you don't care about the ranking system, and you really love the cancellation policy, and you can stay out of the drama, and you don't care about advancing in the company, then Magic Years is good. I mean, it pays well and stuff. So in that case, yeah, sure.
If you can deal with everything, then go ahead. I couldn't.
Well, my last straw, there was so much happening the last 6 months that my eyes were wide open. But again, I was one of those people that was the favorite. So I'm just like, I don't know if all this stuff, I just really didn't know because it hadn't happened to me, but now it has. So yeah. All right. So, let's see. Oh, we already kind of covered this. We really did cover this, but the question was, did you feel that there was favoritism present at Magic Years?
Well, yeah.
Really? Blatant, yeah. Okay. Did you find teaching to be more difficult at Magic Years? Like in the aspect of, because you teach at VIP Kid just like I do, in the aspect of noise control, of like maybe losing your voice strain. Was it more difficult for you? Did you struggle with that? And like, how long did it take you feedback? Can you elaborate on that? Just tell people how hard it was, like in comparison to VIP Kid or just another 1v1 platform.
Okay. In the beginning, I think my energy level was too low for them, which is funny because I'm always told that I'm bubbly, but whatever. So I had to amp that up more than I'm used to. And because of that, talking constantly like this, it kind of blew my voice out very, very quickly in the beginning. I learned to water it down. They didn't like that all the time, but just for the sake of my health, I had to do less. The noise policy wasn't too bad for me, because it's reflexive for me to just mute things or kind of shut them off, and to have an actual button that does that was very convenient for me. So that was very easy. I know a lot of teachers, it is not easy to suddenly have to maintain noise control, but for me it wasn't that bad. They added a new rule for well, not a new rule, they just enforced the old rule, I want to say, about more than one student in the classroom or shirtless dads in the background. So they reinforced that and really made it a thing. And I know for a lot of teachers that was an issue, but for me, it was kind of the way I thought about it. I have a 7-year-old. And for me, in my head, it was like, would I want my 7-year-old to see that? Would that be distracting for him? He's very, very hyper.
Yeah.
That's the way I thought about it. For me, if this noise was distracting to him, assume it's distracting to everyone else. If what's on the camera is distracting for him, make sure no one else can see it. So that was very, very easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Having to actually hit the button was at times a little bit difficult. Having to report it was definitely not easy while still looking like I'm paying attention to all the
trying
students.
to teach, and sometimes you have, especially when you've got a class full of all new trial students or something,
Yeah.
they all have the asterisks, and so a lot of times they're all muted, and you're basically
Yeah.
teaching to a quiet crowd. They don't know it, but you don't know what they're saying. It's impossible to correct, but when you're constantly pushing that help button, like, I felt like it really took away from my teaching. It wasn't difficult for me either. I could do it and still look like I'm teaching, like, no problem. But I felt like it was kind of unfair to the students because I'm not really giving them my all when I'm busy doing all that and making up something so that I have the time to an extra 2 seconds to do it. So that was my only thing. And what you said about voice strain, absolutely. Like, it killed my voice, and it took me 6 months to figure out why. I didn't realize, and then all of a sudden I was like, it's because of these Magic Gears classes. Like, it is just draining me. And at VIP Kid, like you said, you taught an all-nighter. Like, I can teach 15 classes. I think the most I ever did was 22. Whatever it is, from the first night class to the last morning class, I've done them all in a row one time on accident. But it was like 20
accident
because I was fairly new and I didn't think they were going to book. So I opened them all up without breaks, and they all happened to book. That's the only reason. But I have comfortably taught 15 in a row without it really phasing. I mean, I want to get up and stretch, but other than that, I'm really okay. But could you imagine teaching 15 classes in a row at Magic Years? I died.
I think I got close. I did.
Are you serious?
Or something. I was doing
all
all my standbys because within like the last week, they actually allowed me to book classes. They weren't booking. I got like one booked class because apparently the students were traveling and preparing for finals and so on and so forth, which is funny because I got all my classes booked with VIP Kid, but whatever.
Me too. I've been 100% booked at Magic Years for months, and suddenly I'm getting only 30% booked instead of 100, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Funny how that works out. But so I had them all booked as standbys, and I guess the teachers were very, I'll get my classes booked anyway, and they missed them. But that's how it was towards the end. So that's how I ended up booking all those classes at the end, was because they were all standbys.
So we're almost done, but I wanted to I was amazed by your story. So if you're comfortable, I would really think it's beneficial to let people know what happened to you and why you ultimately decided to leave. So I'll let you go with that and tell the people what you want them to hear or what the truth, but you go for it.
So